Hi everyone and welcome to Club 4 episode 11 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, in yesterday's episode, unfortunately our Euro Cup 2 adventure got a really early halt when we went out in the qualifying rounds. Today, we start our league campaign off and I'm excited about the league. I don't think we're going to beat the New Saints if I'm totally honest, but Bangor City, we're coming for you. Welcome back to Connor's Quay Nomads in the top flight of Welsh football. So yes, my intention this season is to at least finish in the top three like we did last season, behind Bangor and the New Saints. For a moment, my mind went blank. I don't know how I can forget them. I genuinely do think that the New Saints are far and above the best team in this division and will probably be that again this season. But we were only 4 points behind Bangor City last season, and I think that we let ourselves down in the middle point of the season specifically, where we became very inconsistent for a couple of months. If we can eliminate some of that, then maybe that second place spot could be ours this time round, and that is my hope. The media prediction is quite different. Again, it's very interesting to see how the season preview is thought about. We are down in 5th position. This time round, it's better than we were in terms of last season. We were at 150 to 1 odds in about 5th, 6th position. This time round, 33 to 1. You can see, though, the New Saints, 7 to 2 odds-on favourites for the title. If we look at the media Dream 11, 10 of the 11 players in it are from the New Saints. The only one that's in there with them is my striker, Johnson. Absolute superstar for me, this guy. If you're new to the series, this is the sort of a very best of the level that we're playing at currently. This guy ruled the roost last season, scored more goals than anybody else in the Premier Division, and at 18 can still continue to improve. How long can we keep him for is the question. I'm sure some clubs will begin to start sniffing around him. But for now, he's with us again this season, and I expect big things again from him this season. But before we go into today's game against Caernarfon, I thought it would be best just to catch you up on where we've been. We've played 4 competitive matches already, 5 competitive matches, before the start of the Premier Division campaign even gets going. We've played 2 rounds of the Euro Cup 2 league qualifying path. Unfortunately, in the last one, Lechia Gdansk beat us over 2 legs. But you can see we've been scoring lots and lots of goals, especially in those European games. Karat were the first opponents. We beat them 4-1 in the first leg. 3-4 we lost in the second leg, still went through. And then in that second round for us, we lost to Lechia in the first game 2-3. And then we got a 3-3 draw in the second one. They went through just about, but ultimately we weren't quite good enough defensively. I hope that's not going to be the routine for the whole season. I hope that we can shore things up at the back. In the last match, we played Flint Town in the Nathaniel MG Cup second round. A good opponent for us, really, a slightly lower level opponent. And we dominated them, but it was necessary to do so because I want all of that positivity and momentum coming into our play for the start of this league campaign. You can see fairly early on, we've got a back-to-back Bangor and the New Saints double bill. So we'll be coming back next episode to play the New Saints, I suspect. Actually, I don't think so. Well, I think we'll probably come back and play Bangor because I think ultimately they're the team that we have to worry about most. So that's for next episode. For today's episode, the first game in the new season, we play Caernarfon and I expect a win. So unfortunately, just at the beginning of this campaign, we do have a couple of injuries that we've picked up in the last week or so, either in the Flint Town match or in and around training. The first is our reserve goalkeeper, Tyler Evans, and he is going to be out for 5 to 10 days, which isn't too bad, and he's not our first choice anyway, so hopefully that won't concern us too much. The one that kind of does, though, is unfortunate. Berry is one of our central midfielders, usually plays in this right-hand side of the two in midfield. And he picked up a pretty serious knock, unfortunately. He's going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks. It actually started 4 to 6 weeks. So you can see we've already had a week of that. A sports hernia was suffered in training, unfortunately. So he's a big miss. But what I would say is that the replacement for him today is this guy, Evans, in midfield, Will Evans. And we bought him in. And anybody that's just joined us for this particular series in this episode, this is the type of player that we're playing with. They're not fantastic, but they'll do a job for us in the division that we're playing in. But this guy was brought in to be exactly this, a better rotating option into the first team than we've had previously. And here is now his opportunity to stamp to stamp? Why is he stamping? Let's not stamp. To claim a spot in the first team. That's what I meant to say. And give Berry a lot to do once he comes back from his knock. But for now, Berry's out. Evans is in, and we, for this particular first game against Caernarfon in the Welsh Premier Division, go with Park in goal, Barrett at right back, Roberts at left back, Beaumont and Bodenham in central defence, Evans and Pinchard in central midfield, Rees on the right, Motruck on the left, and Johnson and Lloyd up top, with a bench of Amos, Edwards, Huge, Cullimore, Mitchell, Bowris and Rees. Tongue twister at times getting through these squad lists, but there we go. Anyway, let's get into today's game and see what happens. Full-on positivity to start this team talk for the first game of the season. So we've pumped the fist, we've said we're favourites, and I want us to play like it. Let's go and dominate this sort of game, get us off to a brilliant start in the league campaign, set a marker down for the likes of Bangor and for the New Saints to properly have to play well to get above us this season. That's the hope. Obviously, the likes of Cardiff Met Uni and a couple of other clubs will be in and around the mix as well, causing problems for everybody. Other than the New Saints, I would say it's a relatively balanced league mostly, especially in the rest of the top half dozen clubs. But we've got to put down a marker early and show that we intend to absolutely make it as difficult for people as we can. And that was a really good chance. Lloyd dropped in to get involved in the play, eventually hooked the ball over the top of the defenders, and Johnson ran onto it, one-on-one with the keeper. You expect him to at least hit the target there and cause the goalkeeper to have to do something, and he didn't really do it on that occasion. And then a good sweeping cross came in, but probably slightly too deep, and the angle was too narrow for Motruck, couldn't get the header back across goal and puts it into the side netting. At least we're pushing a little bit, having a couple of chances, putting them on the back foot just a bit. And hopefully, at some point in this first half, they will break and we will get a lead that we can then work from for the second half. But it's 30 minutes in and it's got a little bit quiet in terms of highlights. And they've had a few more chances since then as well. None on target for them so far. But they're obviously breaking the lines enough to get those shots away. So we've got to be a little bit careful here. Looks like half-time is fast approaching and we're going to go in at 0-0, which is a little bit disappointing, really. But, I mean, it's all in the chances that we're trying to take. And we've had 3 shots on target to their 0. You can see that ultimately we're not being particularly lethal in front of goal again, which is a bit of a pain for me. It's one of the areas of our pitch that you would expect us to be the best at because we've got Johnson and he at this level is an absolute superstar. But just at the moment, it hasn't quite worked out. We're going to point the finger early in this season, say I'm not happy with the performance, and we're just going to put them straight back out again, go into the shouts, fire them up and see if they can find a way to figure this one out early in the second half before I make any further changes. We'll see. Pinchard with a ball in from a free kick, gets it back again from the defensive clearance. We work it a little bit in midfield. I think Motruck might have been a little bit offside. He was. The linesman flag is immediately up and he was offside on that far side, unfortunately. But other than that, it was a good sweeping move again and he got a good ball across the box. But it was just, offside already at that point. There is the first goal. Finally for us at 57 minutes off the corner kick. The near post corners were nerfed a long time ago in the game. I'm sure many of you will know that originally they started very, very potent and overpowered. but they're not so much anymore. But it's still a worthwhile thing to have in your back pocket, because very occasionally those still work, and they've got the best chance of working, I still think. And on that occasion, we got a good ball in, and Beaumont gets that above everybody else and puts it in the back of the net for 1-0. 68 minutes on the clock, so time is absolutely charging through in the second half. Here is a second opportunity for us, and we take it. Reese on this near side. I think he was onside. We will have to check that. Last season, he was magnificent for us. This season, in a couple of our competitive matches, he started pretty well again. And that is a good ball over if he managed to hold his run. And I think he possibly did just about. Then we are 2-0 up and more comfortable. And he did, and we are. And at 71 minutes on the clock, we've got another highlight quite quickly afterwards. This time down the left-hand side again. Roberts on the ball, the fullback. Johnson getting involved in the play. What we want him in the box, really, though. Reese on this occasion again gets the ball over the top for him to run onto. And this time he puts it at the goalkeeper. We're going to pause the game at 75 minutes and make a couple of changes just to freshen the legs. Specifically, I think in midfield we'll need to. Pinchard on a yellow card and lower in conditioning, so we'll take him out. Cullimore can come in for him. Lloyd up top. Now, this is an interesting one. Lloyd finished the season last year really well, actually, and I had to give him a chance this time around because we couldn't find too many replacements for him, but I wanted a slightly better striker. Is Luke Rees going to be that? We're going to have to wait and see, but he gets a chance to come in for the last 15 minutes and see what he can do in the early part of this season. And then I suspect probably what we need to do is make a change on the wing area, really, because that's, again, where we're going to be losing energy quite quickly. And I think we'll put Mitchell in for Reese down the right-hand side and leave Motruck on his league debut for us to play the 90 minutes and see what he can do. And we'll go back in. And we will, I don't think we'll demand more from them at this point. I think we'll just let them play out, really. I think that we've got this game won. And even so, more so now, Luke Rees is the one, about a minute after coming on, it's off a throw-in down this right-hand side. Cullimore takes over, crosses the ball deep. Motrak gets the ball back in. There's a confusion in the 6-yard box. And at this near post, Rees has a simple tap-in for his first goal in the league for us this season, and he's off to a bit of a flyer. So Lewis Lloyd has really got to up his game if he's going to keep him out the first team, if Rees is still going to keep consistently scoring goals. 5 minutes to go, 3-0 up. Pretty comfortable, really. They've only had one shot on target the entire match. We've had 11 out of 19, which actually I'm pretty happy with. I think that's a good ratio for us. 3.1 XG rating, and we got the 3 goals from it. So that's spectacular. The pass completion and the possession of the football was both decent from us. And you can see right the way across the board, we got some very, very good average ratings for a first game of the season. So I'm more than happy with that. And it does exactly what I wanted it to. It sets a marker down for other people. We'll go in and check in a second what the other 2 big sides, Bangor and the New Saints, did in their opening fixture. But for now, I will happily take 3 points. So the New Saints actually haven't kicked off their campaign yet. They've still got 1 of 2 games left to play this game week, unfortunately. Bangor City, though, did, and they got a 1-0 win, 1-0 win early for 3 points for them. So they've answered the call that we put out in terms of our marker that we put down, but really happy with that first display. As we've already looked at in this particular episode, we've got the likes of Bangor and the New Saints coming up soon. And then Cardiff met Uni as well straight after. They were 4th last season, followed by Colwyn Bay, who are a previous team that we've managed in this series. So those 4 fixtures could define the first half of this season very, very early on, really. And we'll see how we go against them. And we basically get the return set of fixtures in the same order later in the campaign as well. So that is a really interesting group of 4 teams to play. We've got to get there, though. Caernarfon, Bala, Aberystwyth, Swansea, Uni are the 4 clubs that we'll be playing between now and next episode when we come back and play that Bangor City game and see if we can keep on a winning run between now and then. If we could stay unbeaten through the next 4 matches, that's got to put down a marker and go into that group of 4 games with a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum. And hopefully that will see us through with a couple of really unexpected wins maybe. Who knows? But that's for a future day. For today, I celebrate the fact that we got off to a very, very good start. Put the Euro Cup 2 misery out of our sights a little bit. And now it's all about that league position. Can we find a way to move up a position at the end of the season and finish at least in second? We'll see how we go. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it as always. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.